Second, related to this, when you're thinking about what ammo is the best, at the very, very beginning, and this is not true always, right? At like super, super awesome elite levels of conversation, you're directing it a little bit more than this. But we don't need to touch on that right now. It's honestly too complicated and is not going to be helpful. So for the beginning, when you're thinking, what types of things should I say? Don't filter. This is the biggest thing for beginners because so many people, when I start to work with them, I realize have interesting, funny, engaging things to say at the tip of their tongue all the time. But for some reason, they got it in their head that they couldn't say that thing. So, two examples. I may have mentioned these before, but they stick out in my mind because I just was like, oh my God, this is perfect. So, working with a client, same woman I mentioned earlier, and she had asked, she had this question. She's like, I feel like people sometimes ask me questions and I don't know what to say, or I'm out and I don't know what to share. So I said, all right, tell me about a time this happened. She was talking about there was this one time she was in a gym with her personal trainer who she just met. And he said, all right, so, tell me about yourself. And she was just stunned by the enormity of the question. Like, here's this guy that she doesn't know asking her to tell about herself. I mean, does he mean job? Does he mean where I live? Does he want my educational background, what I do for fun? And so she said, she sort of just stammered and, gave her job title. Now I said, well, what was going on in your mind? And she said, well, I was thinking like, wow, that's an awkward question. Like, how am I supposed to even begin to answer something like that? And I said, hold on, pause. If you had just said exactly what you said to me with a smile on your face, he would have laughed, clarified the question, and you would have moved on. So if she had just said, that is a huge question, and I don't even know where to begin, he would have laughed and moved on from there would have allowed her to move on in the conversation. So one thing to consider is that oftentimes what is on the top of your mind, the tip of your tongue, is okay to say. One more example, this woman was out with a group of friends and they were basically gossiping about someone. And this is a group of friends who didn't get together often. And she was thinking, I want to say something to move this conversation away from this topic, but I don't know what to say. I said, stop. What are you thinking in that moment? Like, what are you thinking to yourself? She said, well, I was thinking, we don't get to see each other very often. It's really, really great when we do, and it'd be a shame to spend it just talking about the woman who isn't here. And so I said, okay, pause. What if you just said that? And the truth is, if she had just said that, people would have listened. Probably they would have recognized her as a leader in the group, and then they would have moved on. So those two stories are just sort of to underline to you that the most important thing is that you're spreading ammo and not so worried about what it is. You don't always have to have a master plan in conversation. The truth is, it's going to develop organically.